Hi, it's Matt from The National.
Hey, it's Adam from The War on Drugs, and this is Two for the Road.
On Consequence. Have you guys ever done, this is the first time we've done sort of like a co-headlining sort of a package tour like this. Have you done that before?
No, we've never done anything like it.
Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool, I think. And I don't know Lucius as well as you do, but that's gonna be awesome too. And
they're great. They're the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're easy. They're awesome. Kids. Yeah, it's gonna be a. I'm thinking of it just like a traveling sort of festival thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm psyched.
Slash.
And I don't get psyched. So it's good.
What gets you psyched?
No, I mean I get psyched once we're out there, but I've been actively looking forward to this. I think just because it's a little different than what we've been doing, which is a lot of planes, trains, and automobiles to get to shows, and this is just like kind of old school. Get in the bus at the beginning of the tour and get off at the end. You know, there's not a lot of not a lot of zipping around. Yeah, it's nice, and you just get into a groove musically and like. Yeah, it's something we haven't really done in a while, so it's kind of just like the classic tour, East Coast, West Coast. Invite all your friends out, see none of them, you know.
Do you like living on the bus for a while? How long do you like living on the bus?
I do. Ask me in 2 weeks.
Right.
I mean, in terms of the tour coming together, I think it was kind of just more like one of those things where it's like.
Managers or like
like what about would you guys want to do a tour together? And I was like, wow, that sounds like a great package, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of what it was.
That's how things start usually. Like things happen so far in advance. It's like, oh, this band's they're doing this, like they're thinking about adding another, you know, you're like, oh wow, that sounds like an amazing situation, you know? When that started happening, our band, we had a text thread going, and which is normally just gibberish, but then it turned into naming the tour. And then I was talking with Scott on email, and he was sort of relaying all the information that was coming from the Nationals thread.
Wait, was I not on the thread? I wasn't on the central
you
thread.
might not have been. Yeah, he said there was something like, let me start a new thread.
Scott likes to keep his threads private. He's very withholding with his text threads.
But Zen Diagram came from the Nationals thread. I forget what we had. We had probably nothing that nothing that witty.
I don't remember. I think I had a list of 5 or 6 terrible names, and I think Zen Diagram was in there, and that was, I think Scott liked that one. I think maybe that's the only one he even proposed to you or something.
I think we actually chose a different name, and then we saw some mock-ups, and we were like, actually, I think Zen Diagram is actually better than the other name we chose. So.
Oh right, it was all baseball related. It was baseball related.
Yeah, it was like Fall Classic or something.
Right, that's what it was.
Which is cool, but you know. Yeah. But then Zen Diagram kind of was like, oh, actually, that's way better. So.
Yeah.
And then it just, you know.
Yeah, I was excited about the baseball theme though, because I do travel. I travel with baseballs. This is weird, but not really. But I've been trying so hard for a long time to put my phone down. You know, you're on the bus. You're just like you got nothing to do. You're in your bunk or whatever. You're sitting there. You're just like scrolling through your phone, nowhere to go. So I've been bringing baseballs with me, and instead of writing, I would be texting myself lyrics or texting myself ideas. I just start writing lyrics and whatever, just notes to self on baseballs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you one. Hold on. I'll show you what I do on tour. Here are my balls. Here are a couple balls.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, and I just make little art projects out of my notes and stuff on baseballs, and that's been fun. That's one of my favorite things to do now on tour. You know, that and watch Deadwood. You know.
I think you're going to be amazed at how much stuff I brought, like how much stuff in the truck is not gear, like weight bench and,
Oh, really?
elliptical and,
Whoa.
assisted pull-up machine, all these things.
Yeah.
Maybe a golf simulator, who knows? But no, I'm excited. Yeah.
We have a case called the gym case, and I think Brian's the only one who uses it. But yeah, but it's got weights and all it's got an inflatable yoga ball that Brian inflates every time. He inflates it every show. So yeah, the other guys jog. Brian does a lot of stretching and yoga. Scott and I, not so much of anything. We take gentlemanly walks. That's what Scott and I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a lot of pump and iron.
Yeah, we've had the same TRX rope thing, whatever, in the bottom of our wardrobe case since 2011. So who knows the reality?
Is that one of those rope things you do like that with?
I don't even know. I've never opened the bag. Yeah. I think it's the thing. I think it's something that attaches to a door. I don't know.
Okay. We'll try it.
We'll see. We'll use it.
We'll break it out.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, probably my little coffee pour over kit.
Ooh.
And I don't go crazy like some people. I don't have I do have the really nice hand grinder, but I don't bring it on the road because I don't really care. But I have this little pouch, and then I always get a decent bag of pre-ground coffee. I buy the bag and then I have them grind it for me. And then I have my filters and my little metal Kalita filter. Because then wherever I am, all I need is hot water in a cup, and I can have a nice coffee.
You're gonna Ben and Kyle and Kyle or Aaron and Bryce are all big. Yeah, they have to have a very special. I think the French press is very popular in the national world. In my backpack, I have a lot of little things that I've collected. I have just little talismans from stuff. Sometimes notes from fans. Sometimes just things I've been given that'll fit in the backpack and I won't. But yeah, my backpack's full. I've got a set of drumsticks from Mick Fleetwood that I have in my backpack. That
Oh wow.
That's just I don't know how to play the drums.
Did he give them to you?
He gave them to me. In exchange for a little cardinal. I gave him a little bird. Anyway, he's got a lot of he's got tons of talismans, but he's kind of
just a little bit of weed. Give me a little bit of weed, and I'll give you these drumsticks.
Right. Yeah. That we traded. It was a drug deal. I don't have. There's those things that if I lost, I have some coins from from military people and stuff like that I just.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of those some great things that I'm not gonna. I feel nervous if I leave tour and I don't have my military coins. Yeah. Thank you, Cheryl, for the coins. You know who she knows who she is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You kind of got to get used to just losing everything on tour. You kind of got to have to just it's a sort of the shirt on your back sort of mental philosophy.
70 minutes. I think, we're used to playing obviously longer, so it kind of gives us the opportunity to mix and match every night. Play this, play that, play this deeper cut, play this album track, play this cover, I think there's the songs that we're going to play every night. But I think it's going to have a lot of fun, trying to weave all of our favorites and sort of find a flow in our set and, and just, some of these places, we haven't really played in New York in 3 years, a lot of these cities we haven't been to in a long time, so it's gonna, it'll change every night, maybe it won't, but, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm excited. I mean, it's a short, these are gonna be short shows for both of our bands, I think, compared to, we've been doing 2.5 hour shows lately a lot, and that's amazing. But I'm kind of looking forward to, being able to just conserve energy and just give a much tighter, shorter performance, and watching you guys and I don't ever put set lists together. I the other guys always put every night. I never look at the set list before the show. Just that's my thing. It's not like superstition. I just would rather not know. I'd rather not. When I see the list of songs, a big stack of songs, 20 songs or 25 songs, it just freaks me out. It's like, oh my God, that looks hard, So
Yeah.
I never look at the set list. I try not to even look down at the set list during the shows, and I also don't want to know what's next, because I want to. It's like I kind of want every night to be a new movie a little bit. So I hope they'll change it up a lot. I love it when they throw in old songs that I'm not expecting and.
So you kind of just react to what's happening then.
Well, two things. I don't like to do the work of figuring out the set list. I want to think about it. It's too hard to figure out, and I don't want my brain to start thinking about songs before I start singing them, and I don't want to. I don't want to even know what's next, because if I look at the set list and I say, oh, here's this one, and then right after it's going to be boom, that other song, then I'm already playing this song as a setup to that song, and in a way in my head.
Yeah.
That's not what I just want to be in that moment. I want to be. I struggled to be present, as a performer over the years, and that's always a struggle. I used to lose, and now I'm doing better. Of opening my eyes and just enjoying the song I'm singing now, and then looking at the people who are watching me sing right now, and making eye contact with this person right now, and who are you? Who am I? I'm starting to do that, I'm starting.
That's interesting. That's kind of I feel like I'm at that point maybe before you were present. I'm always trying to find a way to enjoy it or be present and open my eyes and sort of just embrace the moment of what's happening, the transaction of singing this song and people coming to see it be played and they're enjoying it, and not sort of getting lost in opening my eyes and seeing people, because when you go to a show, you forget you're not singing along every single second, 1,000% engaged all the time, and I think there's something when you're performing, you kind of I sometimes get caught up in if you I don't know, I just don't really look out and engage all that much, because to deliver it, I kind of stay inside, but I want to be able to just embrace that moment more and open my eyes and just sort of see what's happening and be a part of the thing.
It's a weird mental tightrope where you want to lose yourself in the song, you want to just close your eyes and be in that magical, weird place that the song is, and which is, I don't know how you write, but I write mostly alone, and especially the lyrics and the words and everything what the song is about usually starts in a very private, place where that's the best songs are songs you don't want anyone to ever hear you writing,
Definitely.
that you're embarrassed about, and then it's a weird thing for. I think I'm not an introvert anymore. I used to be, and I think this job has forced me into being less of an introvert. But the introverted brain is the brain that writes the songs, and then you have to do this performance in front of thousands of people, and on a stage with lights, and even the first time you walk out to sing a song in front of people that you wrote. Your first. It's just such a completely different type of personality skills that you need, and I didn't have any of the performance skills for so long, and it's taken me a long time to sort of figure out not only how to perform, but then also how to be in that private place and experience those songs and get emotionally attached to the song the way you did when you wrote it, while you're on stage in front of thousands of people. So you kind of, but then also then if you stop a show at any moment during a show and you stopped it yourself and said, look what you're doing right now. Look what's happening. You're in this room of all these people, just in a state of euphoria, and like they're here because you wrote this song, and you and your friends wrote this song, and there's thousands of people crying, and screaming, and there's nothing like a rock concert. There's nothing like it.
I think that's one of the things about this tour I'm really excited about is, like you were saying, like you're used to playing 2.5 hours, and like everything that comes with playing 2.5 hours at night, like your whole day is kind of consumed with like saving up energy to get to the spot where you can like deliver 2.5 hours of that thing, of singing your songs to all these people and sort of appreciating and being present with that thing. And I feel like this tour, it's 3 great bands. It's like shorter sets than normal, but I feel like that's just gonna like I want to reach like a greater level of sort of being present with our set, because it's like a little less pressure, I think, during the day to like conserve all this energy, and it's just about going out and playing great music for people that want to see some great rock and roll music. So and you and I have been kind of texting about should we do some songs together? Should we figure something out? And I think both of us are a little bit like that's hard. That's hard for me. We have people join us constantly, but I avoid guesting on other people's performances, and I do it because I ruin it usually, and it's so hard it's hard to turn on the show for something else and then go back and then have to do your show or vice versa, so I always find it I can only really guest with somebody if I'm not playing that day, if I have a day off, right,
and they're the day ahead on a festival. But I think with this tour, I think after a couple of days we'll all figure out something to jam together. I mean, you guys, we like to jam. You guys like to jam. Lucius like to. Everybody's, So, and Adam, you and I have been kicking around some songs and possible song ideas, but no commitments. Neither of us are ready to make any commitments.
I think a day to day. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I will say from our perspective, I will say Lucius is going to sing with us every night on I Don't Live Here Anymore, which is sick because on the recording they elevated that tune. So to have it with them every night is just going to be awesome. And I'm going to jam with them on the song I just played on theirs old tape. I'm going to play on that whenever they play it. So that's going to be super fun, family communal things.
Lucius is I'm seeing them all over the place, and I'm only getting used to finding out more about Lucius now. But I think both bands are really collaborative bands, but you know them much better, Adam.
Yeah, I think they're just like, I don't know, they elevate everything they touch. So they're just like great people. Like everyone loves them just as people. So Holly and Jess walk in the room and you're friends after 2 minutes, and then they're singing on your track, and then they're singing with someone else and Joni Mitchell, and she's texting you from Joni's backyard. You're just like, whoa, you're over there, and then they're over here, and then you're on tour, and it's like, whoa, this is fucking awesome.
Are they going to bring Joni for anything? Do you think Joni will show?
I don't know.
We'll have to get our shit together that night.
Every show gets recorded because of technology now anyway, so when you listen back to a tour, you start with a memory of a night, and you're like, oh man, that was like an amazing, I remember that night being great, and you listen to the recording and you're like, oh, it's actually maybe the same as every other night, but there was this one sort of like unhinged vocal delivery, and that's kind of the stuff that I love, it's like the stuff that just comes out of the moment, that like comes from being on the road for a month and you're fried and you're just like trying to empty the tank, but then you maybe like you try to recreate that when when you play again, it's not really the same. So like we put this together of a lot of our favorite moments of tour and just nights that we remembered as being blissful and all the things we love. But I don't, if they become, like there's live versions of songs of other bands where it's like, oh, that's kind of the definitive version for me of this song, maybe like Going to California from the BBC sessions or something. Like to me, that's like, for me personally, that's like definitive version of that song. But like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really listen to our recordings, so I wouldn't, but I just know that like whatever happens between the record and rehearsing and going on tour for 2 years, that's sort of where the song becomes its own thing. And I don't really believe like, oh, if we could only go on tour first and then record the record. Like, I like the records the way they are, but I'm just happy that the songs can sort of expand and take on a new thing,
Yeah, I agree with you that I mean, when you make an album and you spend so much time in the studio and sometimes you're going for a big live sound, sometimes you're embracing, an intimate studio sound, and it's kind of different all the time. But it's this record, the album versions, the released versions of the songs are, in my mind, are sort of like are kind of really early. Often feel like the early drafts of that song, even if you spent 2 years trying to perfect it, and get it just perfect, so it just sounded. The first time you play that song live, it suddenly changes. It becomes. It's like the first time you send your kid to high school. They come back different after their first day of high school. And you kind of can't. You can't control the sort of evolution of a song, really. And so for us, I think songs get better about a couple years after we release them on record, and then some get worse because you start to keep pushing it until it explodes, until it falls apart. Others take forever to find but you never know when you're gonna get the perfect version of that song. We have a song called Vanderlyle.
Vanderlyle. I thought you said Day I Die.
Yeah.
Because Day I Die, remember I played that before it was even recorded. I think
really?
You guys, when we played All Points East in London, and I was wearing this white jacket for some weird reason, but like, you were like, here's this new song, here are the chords.
Oh, right.
And I was looking down at the floor and had these chords. I was like, what are these fucking chords? I couldn't like figure out the timing, and then 2 years later, I was like, wait. I was like, that's the song I was playing on.
That's funny.
I'm pretty sure that's the song.
I'm sure you knew it better than I did at that point. Yeah, no, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, we I think that's a good thing too. Also, is I don't know how often you do it, is play songs live before you go in the studio and do it. We don't do it very often, but we should.
No, we don't do it often, but it's tempting to like. To, be like, oh, we're gonna play all new songs this tour, and I don't know how realistic that is, but
I've always wanted. My plan is always, Fugazi used to do that all the time. They tour a whole album and then they re-record it, because
right.
And I've always wanted to do that. I've always like, let's just play a whole album's worth of new stuff every, so that when we go in the studio, then it's. The songs are already in high school at that point, and like,
right.
Let's do a record like that. But it's become so hard. You can never quite catch up with yourself,
Yeah.
to be able to do that. And you're always like, oh, let's put it out, But you always want to. Once you feel like you've written a song, and how hard it is to get everybody together and to pull that song together and everybody's ideas together, you're like, oh, we finally got it, and you want to put it out right away, I mean, we just put out 2 albums in a row last year, because we're so happy to have new songs, and we're just like, But some of them have gotten so much better, especially off of our last 2 albums. It's like we should probably go back and record these songs now, But you know, we'll maybe some other day we'll do that. But yeah, maybe you guys should bring a bunch of new songs. We'll bring a bunch of new songs, and at the end of it, we'll all make a record of unreleased. No.
Well, you got the baseballs.
Yeah, here's the first one.
I got the recording rig.
Here's our first song. I don't know what it's called. This one's called, I have to find the title. Go Straight Up. Go Straight Up. Let's write a song.
I'll work.
Yeah. I have some words. No chords.
Good.
I have no chords. Anyway, yeah, that'll be good. That'll be a good time. Adam, did you smoke weed before this?
No.
Me neither.
Did you?
No.
If I smoked weed before this, I would have canceled it.
Yeah, me neither. Me too.